Fucking the implausibility of there not being a fucking blacksmith walking around. You want to get into your movie?
I want to get into my movie. Let's hear it.
Happy Friday, folks. Welcome to the Chiefin podcast. January is feeling 22 today. I hope you're having a great day. Daniel, how you doing?
I am doing fan-freaking-tastic. Besides the fact that I just watched...
Wait. Real quick disclaimer, everyone. Everything Daniel says from here on out is fabrication. It's blasphemy. It's libel. And I'm looking into hiring Rudy Giuliani right now as my personal attorney to take him on to the highest courts. Continue, Daniel.
All right, as I was saying, I just watched one of the best movies I've ever seen in my entire life, and it was a great recommendation. Bryce is such a great friend, and I love him to the moon and back.
We're already arguing pre-show. The premise of what you clicked on, you saw the title already. We're basically going at two movies that are somewhat debated in pop culture. I presented a movie that I enjoy that Daniel does not enjoy. He presented a movie that he enjoys that I wasn't very fond of. But here's the thing, folks. This isn't in my top five. This isn't my top five of movies. I don't love it, but I think it gets shit on way harder than it should be. With that grain of salt, continue.
What I said before was blasphemy, okay? Except for the latter part. I do appreciate you, Bryce. Love you to the moon and back, all that shit. But that movie was garbage.
No.
Now, Before we get into that, though, I want you guys to like wherever you're listening, subscribe, share the content, comment after the show is over, and let us know what you like about the movies that we bring up or what you hate about the movies we bring up. I want to hear your guys' input as well, because I know my input on both of these movies, and I feel like I'm correct and Bryce is wrong.
Guys, make sure you're following us on social media. We're on video now, so... I had an outfit change before this because I remembered, oh wait, I'm on camera.
So did I.
I can't look like that now. So,
dude, I was wearing an athletic red shirt, and then I come back and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I gotta change. So I put on a nicer thermal shirt, and I walk out. My mom's like, hey, what's that? I'm like, hey. Video. What are you gonna do?
You know what no Hollywood wardrobe stylist has done ever is put an actor in a red athletic shirt.
Yeah, I know. That's why I took it off. I don't even think they in movies when they run marathons, they don't wear that shit. They're no. He's wearing a suit, okay? And he's carrying a gun. This is 007 we're talking about here.
And get some hair gel in him.
Yeah. He's going to be the one doing the starting pistol, okay? But it's a silencer. Could you imagine that? A silencer is a starting pistol and no one knows when to go?
That'd be hilarious. Or a bit where it's a deaf person so they don't even hear the normal gun.
Or a whole group of deaf people. It's a foundation. And they're like, ready! And they're all just standing around.
And the announcer's like, let's go!
Yeah, they're like, yeah, go! Oh man, I just saw the most wholesome video of my life. As you know, I'm a very big Harry Potter fan, and I saw this girl open up a box for Christmas, and she's clearly blind, and she's ripping open the packaging, opens at the top of it, and then this orange booklet with spiral side or spiral binding of it, and she flips through it, and then she starts looking at the pages or feeling the pages, and you see that there's nothing on it, and you're like, oh, it's probably something in Braille, right? And she goes, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Oh my gosh, now I can read it. And she's like, yeah, you get to read Braille now. And then they're like, and we got you all the other books. And she was like, oh my God. And I was like, dude, this is tugging on my heartstrings right now. This is amazing because I love Harry Potter. And the fact that she can now join in on that is amazing.
Do you think they shit on people in the Braille community for listening to audiobooks instead of brailing?
I don't know. That's actually a good question because
for us visually, what's the opposite of impaired? Blessed.
No, I don't. Just visually gifted, not gifted. No, gifted would mean you have even better sight. If you were in a society where only blind people existed and then you had sight, then yeah, you'd be considered visually gifted. I don't even know what it would be called. Just normal.
'Tis the season. Whoa, normal. Now you're throwing around some like aggressive.
Okay, not normal, but
adjectives.
I mean, it's the norm to have eyesight. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh,
I'm not saying
okay, yeah, great
it
heartwarming
is.
moment. Now you gotta tell that little girl that.
Oh man, don't do this, man. I just told you how wholesome this was and how it tugged at my heartstrings. Don't do this to me, Bryce.
Before we get into, I had a thought that normally we wrap the show with, but I feel like we're going to be going on these movies for a while, so I wanted to address the thought. I was just like randomly thinking, I heard the word like cursive and the idea of cursive writing in a podcast, and I was thinking, man, do you think like the way that we look at hieroglyphics like back in the day and like cave drawings and stuff, trying to like understand what the wording was because it's not normal language, that people like thousands of years from now are going to try to look back at cursive and be like, what the hell is this? Just because it's already starting to phase its way out of like education with kids.
Yeah, that's pretty true. I feel like it would eventually, it wouldn't be as much like hieroglyphics because that's like one picture is a word. But when you have cursive, it's all like the same lettering. It's just all tightly woven together. Secondary thought of what you just mentioned. Do you think they have cursive braille?
No. What?
Pretty straightforward answer. I'm glad that we got through that. Anyways.
It's just a smudged dot.
It's just a big curly Q. And they're like, I think that's an E. I don't know.
All right, folks, without further ado, again, what we're doing today is kind of addressing some hot movies. The movie that I presented that I said, hey, it isn't too bad, but I know a lot of people shit on it, is M. Night Shyamalan's The Village. The movie, Daniel, you presented is...
Swiss Army Man by the Dans? I don't remember their names. It's like something Dan or Dan something. There's also, it's weird because there are two guys named Dan. There's a guy named Paul Dano in the movie, which is the guy with the beard in the beginning. And Daniel Radcliffe is the secondary character. So it's like, it's all just a bunch of Dans here, man. It was a movie built for me.
Just a Dan good time. Oh, that's why you like it.
That's why I like it, because there's so many Daniels involved.
Okay, now it's starting to make sense. Do you want to get into mine first, or are we going to get into
yours so
first?
The way we're doing it is I'm going to present everything that I hated about the movie, give it my final analysis and score, and then you are going to try to defend your side of the story after I've given you reasons ways I think they could have improved the movie, right?
Yep.
Okay, so first off, the red-haired chick's blind acting is so bad.
You know what's interesting? That you like the movie full of Dans, and I like the movie where the lead actress's name is Bryce.
Oh, no way. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, it's funny. Bryce Dallas Howard, dude.
Yeah, she's actually she's a great actress, but in this movie her acting was terrible.
Wasn't too bad because I will attest I won't interrupt you anymore from here on out. I had to interrupt there. But it wasn't that bad because I was watching it next to Logan, who was not watching it with me. She turned over and she's like, "Oh, is that a blind person?" See, and she knew.
Okay, but it's the only saving grace was because she had a cane. There were scenes where she wouldn't react to people walking up to her. She would react as she turned and saw them. And she's like, "Oh, Ezekiel? Hi." And you're like, no, that doesn't make any sense at all. The fact that she had a cane was her only saving grace. I didn't realize she was blind for such a long time.
What?
Like too long, where it was like, until she started using the cane. And I was like, she's blind. I forgot about that. Yeah. Okay, so that was my first thing. Second.
Oh, spoiler alerts, folks. I forgot to mention that.
Oh, yeah. Huge spoiler alerts, by the way. Like, immense spoiler alerts right now. All right, second. The whole bad color thing was so stupid. It did not further the plot at all. I don't think that you needed that in the movie at all. Like, having them being afraid of the color red, what's the point? So that could have just been taken out entirely. Because first off, if anyone has a nosebleed, if anyone cuts their hand, if a girl has her period, she can be freaking out like, oh my God, the monsters are going to come now because I'm bleeding.
Yeah, it's a control thing.
Yeah. And then also, what was the main character's hair color? Red.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I put that. I said it's pretty hilarious that in a movie Afraid of Red, they casted a redhead.
Right? Like, you think that they just blame her
like
for everything.
They couldn't have given her a wig for the movie.
I know. Exactly. Come on. Okay. Now, I gotta say, I did not buy into this movie, like, at all. For instance, if
what? Did you watch in the dark?
No, I watched it. Oh, yes, I watched in the dark. Sorry. For instance, if they had made this movie more suspenseful or scary, then it would have helped improve the movie so much. Like, show the monsters more and have their interactions with them, and make them scarier. Because if you're not, then I feel like they wanted to be like Jaws, where you don't see the monster very often, and it just didn't work out in this movie because you know that Jaws is like super aggressive and has a lot of damage, but these monsters didn't. It was like, oh no, they shaved a cat and killed it. Ooh. And then they scratched on the barn door. Ooh. That was it. Like, it didn't seem that intense. Even when she was like standing out next to the door. And
there's
you
a
see
reason
the monster
why it
there.
wasn't intense, because it's all fear-based. It's like, it's a movie about a cult.
No, I get that. I get that it's about a cult, but at the same time, you have to make the viewers buy into the fact that it's scary. If you don't have them buy into it, then you're not going to... I'm not going to feel for those village
people were afraid. I bought into that 100%.
I guess, but at the same time, it just didn't make... I couldn't buy into the fact that I should be scared of them.
And other side note, on like the creature not appearing a ton, that's like typical M. Night Shyamalan. Like in Signs, you rarely see the character until like they start doing like the final fight scene, and then also when they do like the news clips around the world where the character's popping up. Also, in Sixth Sense, you don't know that the thing in front of you the whole time is like the scary thing.
Yeah, but that was a good movie, and Signs was pretty good too. The whole like them being allergic to water was kind of hokey, because it's like, dude, you land on a planet that's 75% water. Mm-hmm. What are you thinking? Let's see. Hang on. What's my next thing? Oh yeah. Where's the logic here? They don't let a guy who has the ability to see where he is going and is considered fearless to travel into town to get medicine, but the second a blind chick wants to travel into unfamiliar terrain, they're like, yeah, dude, let her go. Let's do it. So stupid. The logic there is so flawed.
Yeah, I guess it kind of is if you think about it, but it's more of a trust thing.
Okay.
I think they trusted her to like, look, these things are fake, and you need to go get your husband your boyfriend some fucking meds. So we trust you to keep this shit on in wraps and go do it.
Yeah, and I guess the fact that maybe because she's blind, when she sees the outside world, she can't really relay that to the people in the town. That kind of makes sense, but at the same time, it's like, dude, you're going to send a blind chick to unfamiliar terrain to go get medicine when she has to hop over a fence, go into town, and the guy's like, no, you got to stay here. What if he didn't have her stay there? Then she'd be going into a different part of the town or the wall, and she'd have no idea how to get back home.
Yep.
Anyway, Noah chasing her down.
No. The idea was that she wouldn't be alone. She was supposed to go with those two guys, technically.
Yes, that's true.
They chickened out.
Yeah, what little pussies. Come on, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And then Noah chasing down, I don't remember her name, but the main girl in the monster suit makes no sense at all. Like, what were his motives there? Why was he putting on that suit and chasing after her? No one even told her or told him that she was out there.
She came in and slapped the shit out of him.
No, I know that, but it's like, no one told him that she was out there. So how would he know to put that suit on and go out there? And why wouldn't he be afraid when he saw it in the first place?
Oh, because he wasn't afraid of them the whole time. Remember, the whole movie's like, oh, they're coming. Oh,
he's like, oh no.
And the dude was snapped. His psychological mind state at that point had to have been nuts. He just killed someone, got locked in, quote-unquote, prison, found a monster suit of something he's supposed to be afraid of. Who knows what's going on through that guy's head. But yeah, him finding her is coincidental, but it seemed like it was like not within hours. Like, she was out there for like a day or so, right?
Oh, more than that. It was a half day's walk to get to the road where she was. So, maybe like...
Because like there's a scene where she's like under the tarp in the rain singing to herself, which has to be terrifying.
Yeah, but that was dumb. They put the tarp, like, there was like a big, huge, like, swoop in the tarp. All the rain would just pool up in there. I mean, come on. Okay, so my final synopsis is this. Oh, okay, sorry, one more thing. Where are all the iron workers and blacksmiths and, I guess, candle makers and all that stuff? Like, they should have, if they had shown more of the town, I would have much more bought into the fact that they were self-sustaining in that society, because all I saw was the church.
Interesting take, wanting to see more blacksmiths.
I'm just saying, okay, look, the nails, the locks, the lanterns, the freaking bell. Where do you get this material? How'd you make those?
Well, they've been there for had to have been 20 years, right? Because I think they just raised their kids there.
Yeah, but don't you think any of those kids have questions like, where did this hard substance come from that we're wringing?
I'm sure there were some of those people in society, but yeah, they were not featured.
I'm just saying, some of those things, if you had done these things, I would have definitely bought into the movie more. So basically, this is just a rundown of everything that I just said and my reasoning for why I say it's crappy. If they had gotten someone better to play a blind person, or at least worked on her acting to be better at being blind, taken out the fear of the bad color from the movie since it didn't really further the plot anyways, taken out the part where Noah goes into the woods dressed as the creature because he had really no motive to go in there in the first place and didn't know she was in there, made the monsters' interactions more scary and suspenseful to actually make you buy into the fact that the townspeople should be afraid of these things, and they had done the reveal at the very end after she had gotten all the supplies, it would have made the movie so much better. Like, to make it more of a psychological thriller, kind of like Shutter Island, as the medicine is being administered to Lucius at the very end of the show, or at the very end, show her sitting there remembering her dad explaining about all the monsters and the big reveal of the shed and them being the actual monsters and like the society that he's created, and her just kind of like sitting there blankly staring at nothing while they're giving Lucius this medicine, and she's just like taking all this information in, like, I've been lied to my entire life. I can't even believe this. And I just went into town, which I didn't even know was a thing until now, to go save someone.
I agree that would have made it like way better, is that reveal at the end.
Yeah, if you had done all these things, I guarantee you the movie would have been way better.
The only reason they didn't do that is because they tried to fit in that Adrian Brody thing. Like, if you don't know that the monsters are fake and you're watching that whole scene, then you're kind of like lost.
Yes, but what I'm saying is, if they had done all that at the very end, and then just like right after he explains, oh yeah, we had this society built to protect you guys because of these reasons, and then go through all the reasons, and then finally like Lucius opens his eyes and then roll the credits. That's it. That would have been amazing. That would have made it so much better, because then you would have been like, wait, what? Because the fact that you find out 30 minutes before the movie's over that they were the monsters the whole time, you're like, okay, cool. Now what? And then they just keep on like unraveling more shit. You're like, this is unnecessary. I'm sorry.
What? No, it was cool. The whole backstory to the cult, that was super interesting. And what I got this time that I didn't catch last time is the dude that started the cult, his dad was a billionaire who got shot, and then they're living on his like reservation, which I didn't even know the first time.
Yes.
And then also what I caught
did
is,
you
like,
see M. Night Shyamalan?
Oh yeah, he's a fucking Alfred Hitchcock wannabe.
Yeah.
But what was also cool I didn't notice is like at the very beginning they're like trying to hint that they're living in the 1800s when they're obviously like living in the 2000s, which is really interesting.
Yeah, I mean that's
like,
what I'm saying.
The kid's grave had that like time on it, I think.
But also the whole iron stuff and they need oil for the lamps. Where are they getting all this oil from? I mean, there's just certain plot holes that I would like to see so that I could have understood.
That's a crazy like picky plot hole.
Hey man, you told me to pick apart this movie and I ripped it a new asshole.
All right, here's what you missed.
But wait, hang on. The only things that I really liked in this whole movie, 2 parts, that's it. Noah hiding and giggling in the closet, and then the chick like grabbing her sweater right past him and he's like that was hilarious. And then her sister being denied a hand in marriage.
Yeah, that was hilarious too.
It's so funny. She's like, I mean, if we have love in our hearts, why don't we just share that love? I love you. And then like best parts of the whole movie.
All right. Here's my defense for the movie. 1, this movie has way more of a superstar cast than I remember. That's Sigourney Weaver,
dude, same.
Joaquin. Fucking Jesse Eisenberg had a little cameo in it, which is crazy.
That guy from the Social Network.
Yeah, Jesse Eisenberg.
Movie. Well, we said the same thing, but different ways. Okay.
Joaquin Phoenix was amazing in this movie. I thought he was a phenomenal
very,
job.
very good. But I will say the scene, also another thing that I didn't like was the scene where he gets stabbed. They didn't do that up enough. Like,
well, I thought they did because they did it in silence. And like when the dude goes back for the second stabbing, that's like completely unexpected. I was like, oh, maybe he'll survive. And then he's like standing there for like 10 seconds and goes back. And then the scene where Adrian Brody, I think, goes to his parents and he's like shows his hands and he's like laughing and then crying. It gave me chills. I was like, holy
that was
crap.
really good.
Yeah,
that part was actually phenomenal.
Great.
But the fact that he like stabbed him and Joaquin just kind of like stood there blank staring, I'm like, okay, you should react somehow that you just got stabbed, like inhale or like even jolt a little bit, just the slightest bit of reaction would have been great, but he just kind of stood there.
Because he was completely shocked. He was like, had
was
no idea that was
but
coming.
like,
and I felt so bad. Joaquin was happy. He was like, oh, I'm sorry, dude. Sometimes it happens. And then, boom. Joaquin's been like sad and like depressed the whole movie, not feeling, he feels like it was his reason the fucking monsters came into the town. This guy catches one little break and stabbed.
Yeah.
It's a sad moment.
Yeah, not bad. Okay, so what was the thing that you said I missed?
No, those are basically it. I think this movie, it was hard for me to revisit it because I know the plot twist. That's what I mentioned to you, I think, yesterday too. It's like, it's going to be very hard to put yourself in that point in time where you didn't see this coming and then have the same reaction to, oh, that was a crazy twist. I do agree that it could have been executed differently and maybe had more punch, but I still think I didn't see that coming at all, that I was watching this movie of people that were convincing some other people in the year 2000 that they were in the 1800s. Like, did not see that coming at all. The monster, I like the tropes of the colors. I mean, a lot of shows do that. Breaking Bad does that a ton, right? Where everything red is bad and then like the lighter colors like blue are pure and good.
Yeah,
and
but
like
they
that.
really they paid attention a lot to the colors, and they're like, whoa. Like they freaked out when they saw one red flower and they're like, bury it right now.
Yeah, that's like that much fear.
But I'm just saying, like, it didn't make any sense to me. Like, maybe choose a different color or something else.
Exactly, it does make sense
like,
because it's a fucking cult. Like, that's how like deep and twisted.
I don't know. It just didn't seem right to me. It seemed stupid. I feel like even if I was in that cult, quote unquote, I would have been like, no, this is kind of stupid. I'm gonna see for myself how bad these monsters are. Because from what I saw, they only killed 2 animals, and it was like the stupidest thing. Like, I could have defeated that animal or that.
You would have been brainwashed, dude.
Nah, man, I'm too smart to be brainwashed.
No, I think it's hard to revisit. The movie gets shit on way more. I think it was a good enough plot twist that made it that was kind of cool shit. The slow-mo scene where Joaquin runs in to grab her and she's just standing at the doorway and you see the monster starting to reach in. I thought that scene was fucking sick. You remember that?
I thought that could have been done better. I feel.
What? That was so dope.
I really do. No, it was like there wasn't enough thriller or like what's the word I'm looking for?
That was all the suspense that you could have had. It was the last second nick of time.
I needed more suspense, and I needed more like heart pounding fear that something is going to go wrong. And I didn't get that. And I that's again with the monsters too. I needed to feel more fear. I needed to understand the people's fear, and I just didn't understand it because
I don't know, because in the movie Signs, I didn't have that fear of those monsters, and you know what I mean.
I had more for them for sure. I had a lot.
Why there wasn't anything else that happened in that movie with those monsters?
I don't know. Maybe because
you heard him walking on the roof in one scene, and like.
Honestly, I don't really remember Signs that much. I just remember it being more scary than this movie when I saw it. This movie, if I will tell you right now, if they had made the monster scarier and they had done the reveal at the very end, like I said, and taken out that scene where Noah goes into the woods, because that doesn't make any sense to me still. I don't care what you say. It would have been so much better, and it would have definitely been able to been rewatched, and you're still like, dang, dude, I still can't believe that. That's so crazy. Like The Sixth Sense. Spoiler alert for this one. When you find out that he was a ghost the whole time, you're like, whoa. Like even now, I'm still like, I know he's a ghost, but it's weird, like thinking that he's normal or thinking that he's real, because it looks like he's real the entire time. But in this movie, I just couldn't buy into the fact that those monsters, on the second time watching it, revisiting it, I couldn't buy into the fact that those monsters were actually monsters.
What do you give this movie rating wise? If you
easily 49%.
Interesting. What do you think the fans would give it?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just saying what I say. I think it was terrible. What's the actual? Okay, I'll try to guess the actual score and the audience score.
Actually, just guess your score and then say whether or not you think the fans went higher or lower than critics.
Okay, I think that they went lower, just because I've heard a lot of shit talking from that in general from like all my friends.
Yeah,
besides
I
you.
think the fans probably went lower.
I bet you they went probably like 12%.
Yeah, 43% thermometer 57% audience.
Really, the audience actually scored. I was pretty close to thermometer. I mean, that's not bad. 49%. They said 47.
43.
Okay. Oh, they said 43.
I think it gets shit on a ton. M. Night gets shit on a ton. I think for this being an original movie, it's very creative. They put me in the world. I appreciated the movie. And for the time when I saw it too, I remember it being enough of a plot twist for me. So I still like it.
I think that M. Night Shyamalan has great movies. Some are great movies, some aren't. This was one of those that was not at all. I was not a fan.
No, this is middle of the pack. This isn't one of his worst.
I was bummed that I had to pay $2.99 to rent it. Let's put it that way.
Oh my gosh, you're really fucking dramatic. All right, let's go to yours. If you want to talk about fucking the implausibility of there not being a fucking blacksmith walking around, you want to get into your movie?
I want to get into my movie. Let's hear it.
The opening fucking credits is this guy using his butt as a fart jet ski. And you're talking to me about blacksmiths?
Yeah.
You're insane. We have a movie. Actually, I was so shocked by this movie because I thought it had to do with war. I thought he was using a dead body as his like tool as a soldier in war. So I was completely lost in this movie.
Oh, so you went into it thinking it was Pokemon and you got Jigglypuff instead, or you got Powerpuff Girls. Yeah, or Digimon. Yeah.
Yeah. So this guy's stranded on an island. He's about to kill himself. Daniel Radcliffe, a corpse washes up on shore. This guy thinks, maybe I have someone that can occupy my time now because I need to not lose my sanity and I'm lonely as shit. So he goes over to the guy. It turns out he's dead. He goes back to almost killing himself, and then Daniel Radcliffe starts farting. Right? So
a lot of farts.
So the guy who's about to kill himself is like, wow, let me go check this out. And then he starts interacting with the corpse more and more throughout the movie with the corpse's other bodily reactions. And he starts talking to the corpse. He's obviously hallucinating and hearing the corpse talking back to him. And then they basically go on an adventure to get this guy back home, who you find out ran away from home. They go on some wacky adventures, jet skiing, farting around. They use the corpse as a machine gun. The corpse turns into a water dispenser somehow. The corpse turns into a karate machine type of thing that can break wood and things of that nature. They find themselves throughout the journey. They learn more about the boy who ran away from home and why he ran away. There's this underlying thing of the girl that got away that he wasn't able to rekindle with, and they have these like fake parties with the corpse, mind you, this whole time, pretending that they're the girl and the boy on the bus and things like that. They eventually find their way back home and try to meet up with the girl, who is married with a life of her own. And then there's this realization that the guy wasn't ready to go back into society because he's on the news now, and they're trying to take the corpse away, and they're kind of they're asking a lot of questions like, why are you with this corpse? This corpse has been obviously dead for weeks. What the hell's going on? The girl that he wanted to go see, it turns out he's essentially a stalker and has been stalking this girl with pictures in his phone, and she has no idea who he is. And the movie ends with the corpse being a farting jet ski and riding off into the sunset, essentially. This movie was weird. There wasn't any like satisfying end or resolution. It left me very unsatisfied.
Okay, what were what were your takeaways? Like what was your synopsis of what could have been changed and what you hated the most?
I thought it was a brilliant concept, but a very strange execution, and not strange in like a redeeming way. Almost just strange for the sake of being strange. I thought the farting in the beginning was very overdone, almost like Rick and Morty in the earlier seasons, where Rick's burping is like way overdone.
Oh yeah, totally.
His love connection is very creepy because they want you to root for this guy to get with this girl, but it turns out he's a fucking stalker, like weirdo. It's very strange, like knowing that he was just taking pictures of this girl and fantasizing this whole life, and then went to her house. It would have been a lot different if they had known each other and she's like, oh my gosh, where'd you go, when they see each other. But there's no payoff when he sees her. Like there's no payoff at all.
Yeah, he kind of like shakes his head like, no, I'm okay. It's fine. It's nothing. It's all right.
Yeah, that's crazy. The projectile water, the farting, the shooting machine gun, the karate chop arms. I don't understand how that happened. But at this point in the movie, I don't know whether or not to try to rationalize certain things or to just accept it for what it is. Like, I don't know whether to read deeper into the movie and be like, oh, he's obviously hallucinating and he's talking to himself in the form of the corpse. Like, I start trying to go down that rabbit hole of like understanding what the writers were trying to make the viewer try to understand from it. But then when I try doing that, then I'm like, wait, what's all this other shit that makes zero sense? Like, how is he a machine gun now? So it's hard for me to get a deeper understanding for the movie when they go so much into the absurdity. But they go so much into the absurdity and not even like a funny way. It's just a weird way. How long was he gone? Like 2 weeks? I forget why I wrote that. Him like running away from home.
Yeah,
he wasn't very far from home.
No, not at all, actually.
So he was about to hang himself instead of just taking a 2-day walk back home.
Well, he went on some sort of ship, I think, and then he got stranded, and now he has no idea where he is. His cell phone battery is very, very low, and he's trying to find his way back home, but he can't find his way back home. I think it's been longer than 2 weeks, because he got a full beard. I mean, that doesn't just grow in 2 weeks, you know?
Yeah, that's true. One final thought is the music was cool, the harmonizing. Without the music in the movie, I think this movie would have been even weirder. Like, a lot of the very weird scenes are like covered by this really cool musical score. Dude, but it doesn't take away from the fact that it's still a fucking weird scene. So elaborate me. I don't know how to make this movie better because I don't know what it's trying to be.
Okay.
Like, I think it would have been better. I think it would have been better if he had known the girl and there was some kind of payoff when he went back home. And it would have been cool if there was some kind of connection, like, oh, the corpse was the girl's dead brother, or like there was something there. The zero connection. There's no payoff. There's no like, oh, that's kind of cool. It's just like, oh, this is like uncomfortable and strange at the end. That happening would have been a cool payoff. And everything else, like, I don't know really how to make it better because it is what it is.
Okay, I can understand that, but I'm going to tell you why the movie is so great in my eyes. First off, before seeing the movie, I had no idea what it was going to be. So I saw the preview for it and it was like, you know, he goes to the dead body and he hears it fart and he's like, what? And then he's, you know, like dancing with the corpse and it's karate chopping and it's like a machine gun and stuff. And I'm like, well, this looks very interesting. I kind of got to watch it now. Plus Daniel Radcliffe's in it, so I had to watch that as well. Because like I said, I love Harry Potter. And then I watched the movie and I was dying laughing the first 5 minutes when he's farting that much because I thought that was so funny. But then after I watched the movie, I kind of sat there and realized, is there like a deeper meaning to the movie? And then I thought about it for a while and then I saw it again and I really like bought into the fact of the deeper meaning that I kind of threw in there myself. I'm hoping this is correct. I don't actually know. But what I got from it was the guy was an outcast pretty much in society and he pretty much meant nothing to anyone in his life. So he ran away because he was afraid of taking a chance with that girl. He was afraid of, you know, as he is explaining certain things to the corpse is becoming more and more alive. So the way I saw it was he is actually becoming more and more himself the more that corpse is learning about life. Like, he's like, oh, you shouldn't masturbate. It's bad. You don't talk about that stuff. And then the corpse kind of like guides him into the realization that it's actually a good thing. You shouldn't be upset to do that. And then he's also talking about farting. He's like, why? Why should we hide our farts? And he's like, because people don't like that. He's like, well, that's just dumb. And then he kind of like becomes more and more alive because of that. And then he really likes this girl, but he's too afraid to ask her out. And he's like, look, man, what would you do if she was right there? She's right there. She's 5 feet away from you. You could talk to her. You could be the one that is going to live with her for the rest of your life. She's alone. You're alone. Why not be alone together and be together? And then he like becomes more and more alive. And then at the very end, when you find out that it was a dead body the entire time and it hasn't been moving, like it's all been in his head pretty much the whole time. And then it farts off into the sunset. I think what's really happening is he is farting and everyone is like he's revealing who he really is now. And that's why you have different reactions from people at the end. One person was like smiling. The other person was like, what the fuck is going on? And then the other person is like, okay, kind of like whatever. And then the dad's like, yeah, finally, you're being who you should be. That's what I took from the movie, at least.
I get the everything else, but the ending. I get the him coming into some more confidence within himself, talking out his irrational fears of things. But the ending, him coming himself, I don't get that still. The dude just ran off with the corpse back into the jungle because he didn't want to face society. And then when he was about to lose the confidence, which was the corpse, right? He just starts farting. But I still don't, no one else is aware. Like, I don't know. I don't get that. Because no one else is like thinking this guy's, he's like, everyone's thinking, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? He's been gone for months with the corpse. He's not confident.
Yeah, it's that he's no longer, he doesn't feel confident anymore because now he's scared of society. He was all okay with that by himself with the corpse because that's just who he was being on his own. He wasn't afraid of the judgment of everyone else. But now that they're there, he got scared. So he's like, no, we got to run away. We got to leave. We got to go somewhere else. So then he goes and then tries to go back to his old society. And then he realizes, you know what? Screw society, man. I am going to be who I want to be. So you guys just have to accept it. And that's at the very end scene where you see Daniel Radcliffe farting off into the sunset, jet skiing away.
So what's real and what's not?
What's real is all the stuff that he's talking about with the corpse. That's all real. That's all in his head. But what's not real is the corpse moving at all.
This dude's a psycho. To me, it's just too weird to like be redeeming and cute. Like the idea that he was lugging around this corpse and trying to drink water from its mouth. And
okay, that part's not real. Like anything that's
just imagine. No, but like he had to have been trying to do it, right? If that's
no. Anything that's interacting with that corpse is not real. Like he was right by like a stream.
Dancing with it.
That was real. He was doing that.
So what the fuck?
Anytime that the corpse was moving on its own or like some bodily function was happening, that was all in his head and making him realize that it's okay to be who you are.
I like the underlying, like him getting his confidence. I'm totally cool on that. I just think they're I don't know, because I don't know if he's in a better place in his life because does he keep the confidence now? Because the corpse is gone and he's still in a shitload of trouble with the cops, this girl that he has obviously been stalking, and his dad. I didn't get the idea that his dad's proud of him at the end of the movie.
His dad's proud that he is now being confident, yes.
I don't know if I got that.
Oh, I did. Oh, but also, sorry, really quick. What I thought was really cool, I watched an interview with the two guys that made the movie. And
what other movies was that one guy in? I've seen him in other stuff.
He's in one of the Mission Impossibles. He's also in The Girl Next Door. And he's in something else. I don't remember what it is, though.
All right, I'll look it up.
Oh, he's also in Little Miss Sunshine.
Oh, yes. That's it.
Yeah. So yeah, anyway, I watched an interview with the two guys that made the movie, and they said that all the farts in that movie were actually a combined effort between the two guys that made it and Paul Dano, the guy with the beard. But Daniel Radcliffe refused to do any of the farting. So none of those farts that he's doing are actually his farts. I think it's hilarious.
I would think not. They had him farting a lot. That'd
right?
Be really difficult.
You would think that it totally would be. And then those two guys, they hate a cappella music, they hate the song Cotton Eye Joe, and they hate fart humor. So they said, if we're going to make a movie about things that we hate, we will do it right. So that's why they did it about those certain things, because they're like, if it's something that we hate, we're going to work hard so that it's something that we actually enjoy to watch, you know?
I like that.
Right? Isn't that so awesome?
I like the confidence undertone in it now. I do enjoy that.
That is super cool. Like, learning that made me like the movie even more. Because it's like, you made a movie of something that you hate. 3 things that you hate. And it's just completely stacked inside that movie. They had all a cappella music. In fact, any of the music in there was a cappella. The Cotton Eye Joe was like a huge part in that whole movie. And farts were a huge part in that whole movie. So it's like, dude, I can't believe you just took 3 things that you hate and you made a great movie with it. What would be
what I give?
Okay, yeah.
I give the movie a 70. I don't think that it'll be rated that low. I think because of its uniqueness, it's going to get a very high audience score, but a like moderate tomato score. I can see the tomato score like 75.
Oh, dude, I can see 80 across the board with audience and tomato meter or tomato meter.
Let's see. Swiss Army. I'm fucking money, dude. Tomato meter is 71. Audience is 72.
Oh, really? I thought for sure like 80. Okay, not bad.
It's funny. I was whoa, lesson, folks. You're never on the same wavelength as the truth if you're weighing something that you have a very good opinion on. You were more on The Village than I
totally was.
I
yeah.
was more on this than you were.
Wow, that's actually kind of crazy to think about.
Whoa, did we have our first like fable lesson?
That was your lesson, folks. You've gone 43 or 42 episodes just to get that little fable right there, that little lesson. There you go.
You're welcome.
Whatever you hate, you'll probably be able to score it better than something that you love because it's true and close to your heart.
Guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I'm very curious in hearing what you think about these movies. If you've not seen them, I recommend checking them out. They're both worth a watch, despite some disparaging remarks about a $2.99 rental. Mother freaking Daniel.
Hey, man.
Get the movies. Watch them if you've never seen them. If you've seen them, then like you probably already know, but check them out.
Yes, I highly recommend it, guys. And from all of us here at Chiefin, keep it chiefin'.
Keep it chiefin'.